Live from New York, the spotlight was on one simple question after last night's game. Who carried the team? With so much talent on the field, particularly on offense, the debate boils down to which superstar stepped up when it mattered most. It reminds me of a bumper sticker I once saw about rescuing dogs that said, "Who saved who?" Last night's matchup felt a lot like that. Jalen Hurts was undoubtedly the star of the evening, leading the Eagles to a narrow victory. He scrambled for two crucial rushing touchdowns, threw for 188 yards, and improved his record to 5-0 in season openers. But despite the win, there's a lingering question. Should fans feel more confident or less confident in Philadelphia after what we saw? Personally, I walked away less confident about the Eagles' Super Bowl hopes. And here's my first big announcement of the season. The Philadelphia Eagles are not going back to the Super Bowl. All offseason, I've been bombarded by Eagles fans asking when I'd stop doubting them. Honestly, I thought I might finally soften my stance this year. I've grown more impressed with Hurts over time, and compared to the stacked AFC, with Kansas City, Baltimore, and Buffalo, the NFC felt wide open. But after just one game, I've seen enough. This team doesn't look the same. The warning signs were everywhere. The defense, once a cornerstone of their dominance, failed to generate pressure and looked vulnerable in the secondary. They didn't record a single sack, and their pass rush was virtually non-existent. A.J. Brown saw a career-low number of targets, raising concerns about offensive balance. Saquon Barkley was bottled up, averaging only 3.3 yards per carry, one of his lowest marks in the last two seasons. Meanwhile, Denver's Javonte Williams gashed them for 5.5 yards per carry, making the run defense look shaky, and all of this happened against a team that isn't considered elite. That's what makes it even more alarming. Ironically, while my doubts about the roster have grown, my confidence in Jalen Hurts himself has never been higher. He played with poise, control, and leadership. He made clutch plays when his team needed them most and proved he could handle pressure at an elite level. But here's the paradox. Hurts' brilliance is being forced to cover up cracks on a roster that simply doesn't look as complete or as dominant as in past years. That's why, even with Hurts' growth, I don't believe the Eagles will defend their NFC crown. On the other side, the Dallas Cowboys delivered one of the biggest surprises of the night. Heading into the matchup, most expected them to get steamrolled, but Dallas proved otherwise. They ran the ball effectively, matched the Eagles' intensity, and even had a real chance to win late. Dak Prescott showed composure under pressure, extending plays with his legs and staying locked in despite constant chaos around him. The Cowboys' secondary also stepped up, keeping A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith relatively quiet. If CeeDee Lamb makes a few key catches, including a crucial third-down drop, Dallas could have stolen this game. For their overall performance, the Cowboys earned a solid B grade. Not perfect, but far better than expected. Of course, the night wasn't without controversy. The biggest storyline came from what's already being called Spitgate. Early in the game, Dak Prescott spat near Jalen Carter. Not directly at him, just out of frustration. Carter, however, responded by spitting on Dak, which crossed an entirely different line. As a result, Carter was ejected almost immediately, a stunning development on the very first series of the season. To be clear, Dak's action wasn't out of the ordinary. Players spit on the field constantly, and from the overhead angle, it's obvious Dak wasn't aiming at Carter. But Carter's decision to spit directly on the league's highest-paid quarterback, a Walter Payton Man of the Year award winner and the face of the NFL's most popular franchise, was reckless. Considering the NFL's crackdown on taunting and unsportsmanlike behavior, Carter is lucky this didn't result in a suspension. Given that it happened on the first play of the game, the league might view his ejection as punishment enough, but he's walking a fine line now. If I'm Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni, I'm sitting Jalen Carter down immediately. The message is simple. We need you. You are far too talented and far too valuable to get tossed over something like this. No punches, no cheap shots, no personal fouls. Philadelphia needs his dominance on the defensive line, and losing him in big moments could be catastrophic. While the Eagles likely won't suspend him themselves, especially with Kansas City up next, Carter is officially under the league's microscope moving forward. One game into the season, the NFC already feels unpredictable. The Eagles don't look as unbeatable as they did a year ago. The Cowboys, meanwhile, proved they might be more dangerous than many thought. And Jalen Hurts? He's still a superstar, but he can't do it all on his own. The cracks in Philadelphia's foundation are showing, and if they don't tighten things up soon, their path back to the Super Bowl is going to be far tougher than anyone expected.